Hey, what's up, everybody? Danelle Taylor, a.k.a. Small Guy Promotions, coming to you live on Saturday, April the, 14th?
Yes.
Because yesterday was Friday the 13th. You wouldn't believe that it was April, though, with this weather that we're having outside. It's so crazy. I don't know. But check it out. What's Up Omaha, bringing you a whole new week, a whole new person to interview. This is Nia Karmann.
Hello.
Here with me today of Nia Street Studios.
Yes.
Yes.
Photography.
Yes, photography. Yeah. There's so many different types of photography out there. We'll get into all that. But first I want to talk about how we first met last year. When was that actually? I don't remember the date.
Last April, I believe. I think.
It's not been a year yet.
Yeah, well...
Was it in the fall? Like October?
Oh, no, yeah, it was in the fall. You're right. October of last year.
I don't remember the exact date, but I thought it was somewhere...
Yep, in October, because October is Spina Bifida Awareness Month.
Well, there you go. There you go. And, just so you know, Small Guy Promotions is about Omaha. Let's lift our city up. That's what the design says. It's all about lifting up Omaha, bringing people together, making a positive impact in the community.
Yes.
So I actually met her at the over off of 78th and Cass.
Yep.
At Smitty's garage.
Yep.
Go figure, it was due to food. Actually, my wife and I, we have a friend, Shauna, a couple of friends, Shauna and Charles, who have a son with spina bifida.
Yep.
He was born with spina bifida.
Old Drew.
And in Omaha, yes, Drew is his name. In Omaha, there was a fundraiser night at Smitty's garage. So I decided to go and grab some stuff, and I had sent a couple of messages or something saying, hey, I'm going to be there, take some pictures, or maybe do a video. So went there, grabbed some food, got to talk to Nia for about, well, it was a while, but on video we did about a 3 or 4 minute video. I just recently rewatched it.
Did you?
Yeah, and your dad came over. Like, Dad, we're live.
Yeah, go away.
And I'm like, hey, no, it's okay. It's live. That's what happens on live. So, but from then we talked, and she kind of asked what I did, and told me that she was also in photography, and that was what she does for a living. And we talked about maybe, partnering up in the future at some point and having her at one of our vendor events or something like that. But before we get to the photography side of things, you want to talk a little bit about Spina Bifida and Nebraska Spina Bifida?
Yeah. So Nebraska Spina Bifida is a 501c3, which means we are a nonprofit organization, and we serve the families in all of Nebraska and then a little bit of Iowa that have spina bifida. And what spina bifida is it's a birth defect, and it's one of the most common birth defects that happens in babies in the United States. One of every 8 babies, I believe, is born with spina bifida, and it's a hole in your spine, and when you're in the mother's womb, the amniotic fluid from the mother's womb eats away at different nerves, and so depending on where your lesion is the formal word for it, but their formal word for it, but depending on where your hole is at is how you're affected. So there's different types, and then there's different levels, and it's called the snowflake birth defect because everybody is affected differently. So, and we have been in circulation, or whatever you want to call it, for most of my life. So about 20 some years, 30 some years. So
and you're the director now, right?
Yeah, current president. Yep, current president. I think this is my second term of presidency. So, and what I try and do is I try and reach out to new families that hear about us through the hospital. We have a really good relationship with Children's Hospital here in town, and always make sure that, you know, we have current information there for the families to, once the shock and kind of, you know, gets done and they want to start reaching out and getting resources and having their kids grow up with other kids and young adults and adults that have spina bifida and want to become a part of the community, then that's kind of where I come in, is I, you know, formally send out either a phone call or an email or whatever and just say, hey, you know, we're here if you want and if you need us, and come join us at our different events. And we have several different fundraising events. There you go. That's the word I was looking for. Fundraising events throughout the year. One of the ones that we have coming up here shortly, actually, is a Swirl and Sip event. It's a wine tasting out at Wine Styles on 78th-ish and Pacific.
I've never been there.
Yeah, it's over by Lighthouse Pizza. So whatever the...
okay. In that plaza?
Yeah,
okay,
in the
cool.
plaza over there. And so we're having that on April 28th. And I will give Danelle some information about it. And so if you guys want to come and check it out, it's a really cool event. It's one of our more well-attended and bigger events that we have for a fundraiser. So, but yeah, we're just out there for the community and for the kids and for the parents. And it's kind of nice because then you have, you know, a community of people going through the same thing. And so you can ask questions and get information and get the support you need.
And I'll make sure to tag her page when I get home and work on the video. Make sure to tag it in here as well for Nebraska Spina Bifida.
Yeah.
So you can go and check out their page. I'll let her give out the website and all that at the end.
Yeah.
You know, so make sure you check it out. And this is an instance where, you know, it's about Small Guy Promotions trying to be out in the community and trying to reach different people, and this is like an example of that, and something coming from that, like some kind of hello and thank you for whoever just gave the like. But you can say hi too.
Yeah.
Make sure to comment, share the video if you're enjoying
the video.
it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Small Guy, I'm trying to be out and do my part. You know, there's so many different ways to. Oh, you can come on. Thank you.
You're welcome.
We got some food.
Yes. By the way, we're at Tanner's Bar and Grill. Boom, check out. You know I had to get some wings.
Yeah,
so.
come check it out. It's really good.
Can you? I'm telling you, they need smell-o-vision. There needs to be a thing called smell-o-vision.
Anything else I can get for you?
I'm good right now.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
But yeah, so I was saying that a big part of Small Guy Promotions is getting out there into the community and doing what I can. I don't do everything. I mean, there's so many different good causes and things to give back to. There's always some kind of need out there. I try not to tell other people how they should give or spend their time volunteering or whatnot, because it's just up to you. You know, sometimes people come to me, and though I'm all about giving back and trying to help, sometimes I'm like, no, you know, I'm too busy or I don't have time or just whatever. You do what you can. So it's all, you know, do whatever you're comfortable doing. Don't feel bad if you see other people doing more, because people are always like, man, you're doing so much. And I'm like, I really don't feel like I'm doing that much. Like, I could be doing more. Like, don't look at me. Look at such and such who's doing whatever. So, like I said, don't worry about comparing yourself to what other people are doing. Just make sure you do whatever's on your heart and what feels good and feels right for you. You know, you lead your own way. Don't worry. It's nice to look up to people or, you know, kind of see how to get involved. But, you know, just do it at your own comfort level, at your own speed. Maybe you can start small and, like, pick it up as time goes on. But, yeah, it's all about getting out and meeting new people. That I started our events because for a few different reasons, but one thing is always community, and I want to bring people together who may not normally be in the same space,
right?
And like rub elbows and, you know, get to know one another, because it's so easy to be negative and like forget that people can actually be nice. So in our events, it's all about fun and positivity and family and just pushing all that good stuff. So, but yeah, this is, you know, great things come out. Just get out there, whatever it is that you decide to do. If you decide to do something, get out and meet people. You never know where it can turn.
Right.
You know, follow your heart though. You know, just that's the biggest thing. if you do it with bad intentions or like for selfish reasons, it may not turn out as positive as it could as if you just go in there because you want to do something, for other people. So that's my advice. So, all right, we talked about spina bifida.
Yes.
So now let's get into more about you and photography. How long have you been doing photography?
11 years now.
Okay.
Yeah, but a little bit before that too. I started in 4-H, and 4-H isn't that common around here.
I was going to say, what's 4-H?
Yeah.
Because I have no idea what 4-H is.
I grew up originally from Grand Island, moved to
GI.
moved to Omaha about 3 years ago. I'm going on my 3rd year here. And so essentially what 4-H is it's a huge community thing, and it teaches you life lessons and life skills. So a lot of people, if you think of 4-H and if you've ever heard of it before, instantly you think of livestock and the livestock shows and showing cattle and sheep and all that, and pigs and all that other stuff. I did none of that. I didn't have livestock. I didn't grow up on a farm. It was more of like the home ec side of it, I guess you could say, for me. So I did cooking, sewing, photography, business sense, rocketry. My last year in 4-H was my senior year in high school, because you can be in 4-H until you're 18, and essentially you can start when you're 8. So I started when I was 8 and went all the way until I was 18. But when I was 18 years old and it was my last year in 4-H, I had 30 projects altogether entered in the county fair. So, and that was pretty much every category that they had except for livestock, and then a couple like others, with the exception, I think, of like electricity and a few other things. But yeah, I had 30 projects altogether. So anyway, started playing around with photography in 4-H and did it as just a project and just to get the projects done and something entered in the fair. Didn't really ever think that it was going to lead to actually being a career. And then turn around when I
what's
was
up, Michael?
when I was in high school.
He said his kids were in it.
Oh, cool! Yay, somebody heard of it. That makes me happy, because when I say that around here, everybody looks at me so weird.
It just made me think of a Hummer when she said 4-H. I was like, hey, isn't that like one of the Hummer, I don't know, models? I don't know.
Yeah, yay, good. I'm glad you've heard of it, Michael. That makes me happy. So about, I don't know, probably about junior, senior year in high school, I started thinking, obviously you think about what you're going to do as an adult and for your career choice and path and whatever. And there was several things that kind of tripped my trigger, but I didn't know how to go about them. And being born with spina bifida, that is one thing that was kind of a roadblock, per se.
I was going to ask, that was going to be one of the questions that I thought of as you were talking.
Because I would go into, really long story short, and I'll try and make it short as I can. I took a class in high school, my senior year in high school, where you went out and did all these job shadows. And so I was set up to do a job shadow with the most sought after portrait photographer in the Grand Island area at the time. And the guy was a complete jerk. Let's just put it that way. I was there for an hour and a half, and for that hour and a half, he never once showed me anywhere around his studio. He never once showed me any of the equipment, none of his backdrops, nothing. I didn't get to see any of his studio. We sat in his waiting room area, and he sat there with me for that whole entire hour and a half and just shot me down and said, how did I think I was going to do this? Did I realize how physical of a field that I was getting myself into? And And he too was in a car accident at some point in time while he was running his photography business, and it was pretty well known because Grand Island's a small community, so it was, all over the place, and he had crushed his kneecap. Mm-hmm. Which instantly put him in a wheelchair. And so he ended up having his son drop out of college to come and help him in the studio.
Yeah.
What he didn't realize is I was born adapting, and that's not meant to sound, like conceited or whatever. That's just how it's been. I've had to adapt to a life with spina bifida and just make things work the way that I can and as best as I can for me. So growing up in 4-H and then growing up with mentors who were willing to show me what it was like to do all that stuff, I knew I could do it. I just needed somebody to believe in me as much as I kind of believed in myself. And so that entire hour and a half just shot me down and just completely, took the wind out of my sails and the whole 9 yards. And I remember leaving that job shadow and just being completely crushed because I thought, well, what if he's right? What if I can't do this? What if, what if I am...
starts to creep in a little bit.
Yeah, what if I am getting way over into my head and just not being able to do this? And my mom sat me down and she said, do we ever let anybody tell us what we can and cannot do? I was like, oh, yeah, you're right. No, we don't. So a lot of praying, a lot of soul searching, a lot of, okay, Lord, if this is what I wanted, if this is what I'm meant to do, please help me. And fast forward 11 years later, I'm in it. I'm still doing it. I do portrait photography. So essentially what I do is I do seniors and families and babies, and I do all the portrait spectrum of photography except for weddings. So I did 6 weddings in the very beginning of my career. Said, nope, that's enough.
Yeah, that's like a whole, that's a lot of dedication.
Oh, yeah. So, and there's other ways to, make money. I don't have to do the wedding side of it. So the other part of photography, what I do is I go around and travel to different art shows throughout the summer. And my art show season just actually kicked off this last weekend. The first Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of April. I just was at Mahoney up in Ashland and did an art show there. And then that one always kicks off my art show season. And then I am signed up for 12 this summer. So I will do 12 art shows here and then in Iowa. And then I do one in South Dakota. And so I'm kind of a little bit of everywhere. So
is there a difference in the, like I know in like music and art, it's like the scene. Like, is the scene different now in Omaha than it was in GI?
Very much so.
Yeah.
Very, very much so. There's more of a market here.
More people, so
yeah.
More competition probably also. But,
yeah. With the age of digital photography, I learned on film. And so what I try and do is I try and take all of the discipline that I learned on film and transfer it over into being a digital photographer. So I don't Photoshop much at all for any of my fine art stuff. Just, little lightning and light the picture up a little bit.
Lightning?
Yeah, lighting.
Lighting.
Yeah, that didn't come out right. Lighting and all that kind of stuff. But I'm not a composite photographer. I'm not a Photoshop photographer. What you see is what I capture. And so I'm very disciplined in the fact that if I have to set it up right in the camera first and foremost. And then no post-processing in Photoshop or whatever. The only thing I have Photoshop for, honestly, is for all of my people. So all of my portraiture work. So
you talked about the 2 different types of, you do portrait photography and then you do the fine art side. So what type of things are you shooting for the fine art side of things?
Anything and everything. I don't really have a favorite subject matter other than I love scenery. That's probably one of my favorite things to do is scenery, but I'll shoot flowers.
I shoot food. That's I'm the Omaha Fatty. Hashtag Omaha Fatty. So I shoot, there's going to be a picture of these wings that are sitting here. Once again, we're at Tanner's Bar and Grill,
yes.
119th and Pacific. Thank you, Tanner, for allowing us to be here.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, and there is food photography too. There is.
I know. I see some of the stuff, and I'm like, man, my pictures are just like normal, like regular pictures. I don't do a lot to them, so I see some pictures. I'm like, man, I should probably start doing something like that because it's like just eye-catching.
Yeah, and that's all done in studio with professional lighting and backdrops, and the food looks really good, But the stuff that they have to do to the food to make it look really good, you don't want to eat it.
Yeah,
They spray it.
Oh, I saw like the legit, like real stuff. I'm just talking about like other foodies who are like, and I'm like, it's like real food, but I know what you're talking about. Like, if you see McDonald's, like that's not real. Like, it's not, probably not even food. It might be Play-Doh. I don't know. Like,
right. Yeah. So the spectrums are very different. There's definitely a fine art crowd that comes out, but like I said, with digital photography, it's getting a little bit more difficult, just because kind of everybody thinks that they're a photographer.
Well, like, hey, like you said, technology, with everybody having a camera, everybody can get on and just shoot away. Like, I know I'm not like a cinematic person at all or anything like that. That's why it's just live. I'm like, here, this is what we get. Like, there's not going to be a lot of editing when I upload it to YouTube. This is what you get. So,
yeah, exactly.
I'll let someone else do that if I ever blow up or enough to have someone help me. Like, they can do that stuff.
You'll get there. You'll get there.
I'm not worried about it, man. I just enjoy talking. Like, that's my thing. Like, I enjoy talking, and I figure I should start capturing it. Initially, I said in 2018 that I was just going to do more live videos of myself, a small guy promotions.
Oh, there you go.
But then I thought, like, I don't want to just be on camera talking the whole time about myself and about what I'm doing. Let's see what other people are doing. And then I said, let's let it be an extension of the events that we do, where I can spotlight local people who are doing things that maybe people don't know about. So, I mean, it's a great way to get out some extra information. It helps whoever I'm interviewing. Hopefully, some more people will see what you do and check out your page.
That'd be awesome.
You know, I share it. It helps me. I have content to share, so like it's a win-win for me. Like it's all good. So
definitely.
But so a lot. I like to talk about passion.
Yeah.
So in those two formats of photography, does your passion lie more in the portrait side or in the fine art side?
Fine art side.
I feel like that's
Definitely.
like easier because it's just whatever you want to do.
Right.
Like
and it's like I always say, nature doesn't really talk back. So people are awesome, though. I do really like to capture babies, especially babies and kids. And seniors in high school are pretty cool because it's kind of just neat to collaborate with the senior and, come up with a photo shoot that they really, truly want.
Yeah.
And that's always a lot of fun. So,
well, I feel like there's like a freedom on the fine art side to be more creative and just like, just like you said, nature doesn't talk about. You can just shoot whatever you want to. Like, it can just hit you, inspiration.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. Do you always carry your camera around with you?
Pretty much. Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah. If I don't and I accidentally leave it at home, I am bummed. I am totally bummed. So.
Do you ever just like fall back to your phone and take a picture with your phone and?
No, location-wise, yes. For like later, if I don't have my actual professional camera with me, and it's somewhere that I want to come back to, I will definitely, take a picture of where I'm at and document it so that I know where to come back to for later.
Oh, okay.
But I don't take anything on my phone. So.
Oh, okay. Because you always wonder, like a professional, like race car drivers, like do they really drive like on the regular streets, like when they're not on the track?
Right.
Or like NASCAR people really out on the streets, or like do they have like an Uber dude or like a chauffeur or something driving them around?
Do they know how to drive a regular car?
Yeah, like bro, you were doing 100 in a 25. That's not okay. So I was just kind of wondering about that, like, and especially too, again, like we talked about with technology, there's so many different apps and things that you can use to kind of help out. So I didn't. I didn't know if you'd be like, oh man, I gotta capture this. Like, I don't have my camera with me. So.
Nope. Yeah, I just always make sure to go back, and then it's never the same. Locations are never the same from one day to the next, but that's always what's the coolest part of it is discovering something new each time.
Yeah.
So,
How did you decide to go with portrait and fine art? I mean, I know you said you did weddings before, and it was kind of not your thing.
Money.
Yeah,
as bad as that sounds, but like there's more money in the portrait side of it than there is in the fine art side of it and traveling around to different art shows.
Well, that would make sense because I mean, there's a need out there, obviously, for those services. Who knows? It's kind of hit or miss probably with the art. You have to have that right person looking for that right piece. So, well, what kind of, like, is there one piece that sticks out that you've taken a photo of that, like, was like, oh man, I love this photo? There's so many.
Well, no, there are a few. There are a few that pop up in my head, but mainly the pictures that I've proven to myself that I can make what it takes to go and get them, if that makes any sense. Mm-hmm. So we just went on a family vacation to New Zealand, and
I didn't get an invite.
And
what up, bud?
And so definitely that was one of those trips where I pushed myself to, top of my limits and as hard as I could, and made sure that I was just constantly taking pictures and capturing everything. And they're going back and looking at them. It's really cool because I can't pick. And as weird as that sounds, when you're your own worst critic, you instantly you're like, oh, that one sucks. Oh, that one's not that good. Or I could have done this or whatever. Do
you ever like surprise yourself though? Do you like look through and you're like, oh, I took that one. Oh yeah, I did that.
Oh yeah,
I did that.
Oh yeah, definitely. Quite a.
Like, man, the light was perfect in that shot. Like, ooh.
Yeah, and that happened quite a bit actually in New Zealand, so that was pretty cool. So, but yeah, that one has quite a few pieces that have stuck out, and then the ones that I've had published, that personally makes me cry.
Where have you had them published?
I've had quite a few published. I was just recently on the January issue of the Cattleman's magazine.
Moo.
And then I've had a couple in Nebraska Land magazine, Nebraska Life magazine, a couple calendars. So yeah.
I'm sorry to
interrupt. No, you're fine.
That's why I just play it by ear.
Yeah, you're good.
So like I have a few photography people that I know.
Yeah.
So how does one go about getting published like that? Because I know one guy who recently Roth, who recently got a picture published in a magazine.
Oh, cool.
So I didn't know how you guys go about that. Do you have to like reach out to companies?
Submit pictures. Yeah, they have contests. A lot of times they will have contests that you can enter, and they will tell you what subject matter they're looking for. And so, but then it also comes down to votes. A lot of them, and a lot of the contests that I have entered have all been based on votes. And so if you're either the editor's favorite or the publisher's favorite or even the crowd favorite or, just a favorite all the way around, it is based on votes. But you also, too, can just constantly submit pictures to, like, Nebraska Life magazine, Nebraska Land magazine, the Cattleman's magazine. Now that I've been on the cover of that one, I now know the guy who publishes it and is in charge of it. And so he just sent me an email when we were corresponding about the January issue, and he said, keep them coming. So that was really cool, because then if I think of something that I've captured that might look good on their magazine, I'll just shoot them an email and say, hey, just thought you might like to see this one, whatever. And then it's up to them, obviously, to decide if they want to or not. But it's always really cool, because then you have a rapport with people, and they can be repeat.
Or maybe do they refer you to someone else?
They can, yeah. That's not really ever, I guess I can say that that's never really happened, because, so like the Cattleman's magazine, one other person saw it, and he has his own cattle business and operation and all that stuff, and so now we're in talks, and I might be published in his magazine later on. It all just kind of depends on, but now we're connected, and I'm talking to him, and
that's cool.
All that fun stuff. So,
because again, it's got to be hard. Like, I know I work with a lot of like music artists and like trying to constantly work on your craft and put out new projects, new music, and get people to actually take it seriously and listen and give you an opportunity. There's a lot of times people just see what's on the front, like what you put on the shelf for people to see. They don't necessarily see all that work that it takes behind the scenes. Those hours and hours and hours of going out and finding that location or traveling to that event or whatever it is. So sometimes it's hard to and again, with so many people trying to do the same thing, it's hard to get that push and like be seen in a crowd of so many people. But that's definitely great to hear that you have like snowball effect going on there with some of that, because who knows? I mean, that could happen again. Someone sees it and say, "Hey, I want this person who shot this." Or,
And I was in the Passageway Art Gallery here in town, which is in the Old Market, for a year and a half. And I'm also in the airport. There's a gallery called Gallery Epley in the airport. But Passageway Art Gallery, I am no longer in there. But that's just because I'm broadening my horizons and shifting my gears a little bit and going towards other goals. And so, but we'll see how it goes. Just keep praying and just see how it goes. So,
do you ever like throw like photos up on like Instagram or something, like hashtag a bunch of stuff, and like do you ever get any like work from something like that?
Not yet. Not yet. I have yet to be discovered on Instagram. But I'm working on my Instagram game, kind of trying to figure it out. I did, though, however, Paradise Cove in Hawaii. That's another vacation that we just did this last year.
All these vacations. She must be successful.
No.
I mean,
no.
Bro.
It was once in a lifetime. Trust me. So, but anyway, Paradise Cove is a place in Hawaii that you can do a luau, and that's one of the things that we did when we were over there. And I shot a picture of myself holding one of my canvases that I shot at Paradise Cove, and Paradise Cove re-Instagrammed it on their page and gave me a shout out. So that was pretty cool.
Well, I don't know if you know, but one of the slogans that like the Omaha Chamber of Commerce has started these last however many years for Omaha is "We Don't Coast." So I mean, make sure you throw that in there. If you're throwing a picture of it, you throw a really cool picture of somewhere in Omaha, you put "We Don't Coast," they might
Oh yeah, definitely. So, and then let's see what else. I was on NET, Nebraska Stories, 5 years ago, I think. 5-6 years ago, something like that. So, and they keep replaying that, which has been kind of cool, because I'll get different people reaching out and saying, "Hey, I just saw you on TV." And
I'll take any pub that I can get. Like, matter of fact, please, if you happen to watch this video, please share it.
Yes, please.
I will upload it again to YouTube, and I will put it on the Anchor app so it can be there as a podcast with the audio. I'll try to get it out there as much as I can. I love me, some me. I love my face. I love my voice. I love watching videos of myself. Help other people see my face and hear my voice. Yes, I like to talk.
I do.
Man, so if you're watching this, please share it. We appreciate anybody who takes a minute just to hit that share button. Share button should be like right over there.
Yeah.
Just hit it. Share it with your friends. Maybe they'll watch it. Maybe they won't. But we appreciate it nonetheless. So.
I should have asked Michael where he grew up.
Well, we can ask him later. I mean, Michael's. I've never met him personally, but he's pretty active. One of the people who has been following Small Guy for a bit, and he comments here and there on different things that we're doing. So
awesome, yeah.
You just put it in there, respond to him.
Yeah, where you grew up.
Yeah. So, what else would you like to tell us about your photography? I did have one question.
Yes.
So do you think that, I mean, I know it's tough to answer, but do you think that spina bifida, like you were more likely to fall into photography because of that, or like, did it drive you? Like, did you think that you had to find something different than like a regular 9-to-5, or was it just something that just happened to happen because it just was your passion?
A little bit of both, and that is a very good question, because being a senior in high school and looking at your options and having a world that's not necessarily so open to working and accepting, you know, how you come, and not really wanting to take the time to know the potential of the person, and just seeing the instant like obstacle and instant it's not a red flag. I don't think it's a red flag, but you know, some people can think it's a red flag and going, oh crap, what are we going to have this girl do?
Because you always use crutches?
I do both crutches and wheelchair. Yeah, crutches and wheelchair. I'm more in my wheelchair nowadays, just because I use my hands more. I can use my hands more, and it makes things easier to carry. And my knees are not that awesome anymore. Getting old is great, but anyway, so it was more a little bit of, I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, and also seeing the fact that, well, if I want these doors to open, I'll make them open. You know, God's behind me.
So you didn't use it as a crutch?
No, not at all.
As an excuse?
No, I prayed about it, and obviously I guess I'm doing something right 11 years later.
And that's something that I want to point out. Like, I know a few people, actually the person who I was going to interview today who fell through, Brandon Ryan, someone that I know from our dojo. He's got cerebral palsy.
Really?
Yeah. So, but he's doing a lot of things that you were talking about adapting earlier.
Yeah.
He has a business called Adaptive Defense Methods. So he teaches people with like adaptive learning
cool.
to do, like, if you ever get yourself in a bad position where somebody's trying to rob you or like whatever, he helps teach some techniques to help ward off. You know,
that's cool.
Yeah, so,
that's awesome.
So yeah, he's pretty great. He's got a couple of books out. I think he has 3 books, maybe 4. I'm not sure. I know I have one of them at home.
I've been told I need to write a book. I don't know what I would do.
Just talk. Just talk. Have someone follow you and take it all down. But I want that to be one of the messages. If anybody takes anything away from this video, is that one of the things that I often try to talk about is, I'm happy. Every day I'm happy. It doesn't mean that I'm happy every minute of every day, but it's about perspective and what you're willing to do to get over that hump that you talked about. You know, life is hard sometimes, and you have to find a way to pick yourself up off the ground. There's a lot of people out there. I listen to Gary Vaynerchuk a lot. I don't know if you know who that is.
Kind of a little bit,
The thing that you were talking about on the job shadow thing. Like, that's the type of thing that would motivate a person like him to like shove it down their throat when you become successful, and that's kind of a fire that burns when something like that happens. You want to show them like, screw whatever you're thinking, like, I'm going to do it, I'm going to be successful. So that's one thing. And then just being able, like, you can do it. I always say we are stronger than we give ourselves credit for. Like, you can do it. You are tough. You just have to have the will and the drive to do it. Like, give yourself more credit. You can do it. Like, there's so many people out there who, you know, and I'm not going to say I've never made excuses. I've made excuses about stuff before. I can't do this. I can't do that.
I am too.
Yes, you can. You just have to make the decision. I think it was, Henry Ford who said it. You know, I can't remember the quote, but it's something about, like, if you believe you can't do it, you can't. If you believe you can do it, you can. Something like that. But, like, dude, like, she is out there doing it. She, regardless of whatever she's dealing with spina bifida, she's not letting that hold her back. She's still going out and getting what she wants. She's living her life. Try not to. She's living her life the way that, like, she wants, and she's not letting it stop her from her passion. And that's just great. That's the type of stuff that needs to get out here. Like, you can do it.
Yep, definitely.
If you're watching this and you've been thinking about trying to do something, but you have some reservations about it, just, you know, don't think on it too long. Put some thought into it, but just know that if you make the decision, if you turn that switch in your brain that says that you can do it, you can do it. It's just a matter of you making that decision. So that's what it is.
Yep, definitely.
So where can we find? Did you have anything else that you?
No, I think nope.
So, on what outlets can we find you right now? We're good.
Okay.
Yes, thank you so much.
I do have a website. It's www.NIE-studio.com. And then from there, I have a link to my Facebook page, a link to my Instagram, and a link to my Twitter, but Twitter is not my thing. So
She doesn't Twitter.
Not very much, no. So I'm not on Twitter very much, but I am on Instagram. I am on Facebook quite a bit, both professionally and personally. So you can look me up either way. And then just follow on my website. I do have an upcoming events tab. Yeah, upcoming events tab, and it will let you know where I'm going to be throughout the summer. I fill it in as I go, just because I don't always know exactly from month to month, because it takes a while to hear back from each venue and for each art show. And so as I know where I'm going to be, I fill it in. But in May, the first weekend in May, I will be in Council Bluffs at the Harvester's Loft. They have an art gallery. It's on Main Street, South Main Street, and they have an art gallery in there, and I'm having a solo show. And it's actually called Oh, the Places You'll Go, and it's kind of modeled after the Dr. Seuss book, but it's what the theme is going to be is it's pivotal moments so far that I've had in my photography career. Experiences, places I've been, people I've gotten to meet, not so much the pictures of the people, but pictures that I've captured while I meet these specific people, and there's a story behind all of them. I might not remember all of them because it's, the more you're in it and the more opportunities you get, you kind of forget a little bit. But it's the first weekend in May, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday, I'm there from 6 to 9 p.m. Come on out. And then Saturday, I'm there from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. And then on Sunday, I am there from 10 until 4. And it's on Main Street. It's called the Harvester's Loft. Come on in, invite your friends, and just, come out, say hi, look at my photography.
And then, again, for Spina Bifida,
Yes.
where can they, is there a website?
Yes, there is. NebraskaSpinaBifida.org is the Spina Bifida website. And if you know of anybody who needs resources, needs families, needs a support system, please encourage them to reach out. The lovely HIPAA laws are kind of awesome to deal with, because if the hospital somehow, accidentally forgets to let the family know about us, or just something happens and they don't necessarily, we're not allowed anymore to personally, so they have to come to us. So it's really important to kind of
get the word out as much as you can, so people know about it.
Yep, definitely.
Promote.
Yes, definitely. So.
All right. Well, and they have a Facebook page as well too.
Yep.
You know where to find me. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. Where else am I? I'm on YouTube.
You're everywhere.
Check me out, Small Guy Promotions.
Yep.
If you've enjoyed this video, again, please, I ask that you share it with your friends.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you for being here. I appreciate it.
It
All
was
my
fun.
guests, thank you so much. I try to make it entertaining and informative. So please, again, if you've liked any part of this video, please share it, or if you think someone can benefit from watching it, or if they like art or something like that, they want to check out some of Nia's art, they could do that. If they know someone with spina bifida who, needs some assistance in their lives, they can contact her.
Yep.
I'm here, so check me out. Leave comments. Please do let us know what you think. Likes are cool and stuff too, but
share the video.
Yes, share the video. I definitely would appreciate you guys commenting and letting us know what you think. And again, it's all about Omaha. Boom, city in the background. This is me lifting the city up. It says Omaha, because that's what it's about. Let's lift our city up. Together we can do great things. That's what it is. Smile every day. Laugh every day. Help someone else smile and laugh. Have a great day. That's what it is. Peace out. Yeah.
Bye.